Hello everyone, good morning and good afternoon. Uh, Today, I think I have started my cloud journey. So I'm going to talk about more actually cloud overview. This is more actually cloud foundation course, and I have planned accordingly the cloud foundation. Right, I will do master class. Basically, I'll give you some overview of clouds, maybe design, think about foundation, think about maybe difference in the clouds, different clouds. But in my live class, right, which is I'm planning, right, maybe 1.5 hour to 2 hour per week, which will I continue for a detailed part, right. So today, you think about this in master class to understand a little bit more about the cloud overview, how cloud things, and how this different what is called, right, features available or different segregation happen. We'll discuss more that. So let me share my screen, but let me ask you a question, right. When you're talking about cloud, what you think on that cloud, right? What do you think in cloud? What do you, maybe are you thinking about cloud, maybe something cloud, जो बारिश हो रहा है वो cloud? What do you think on cloud? Because what I'm trying to say, right, if you're able to see my screen nowadays, if you think about e-commerce, think about any AI things, think about something application running, right, without cloud is not possible. I remember, right, my earlier days, right, हम मूवी देखने के लिए, राइट, थिएटर में तो जाना पड़ता था. एलियर पीवीआर ऐसे कुछ नहीं था, बिकॉज लोकल थिएटर में जाकर हम देख रहे थे. बट somehow because of exam, or if you have any चैलेंज, हम वो मूवी देख नहीं पाया, तो हमको क्या कर सकते हैं, राइट, लेटर ऑन, राइट, हम डीवीडी प्लेयर लेकर आते. डीवीडी प्लेयर नहीं था, वो जो सीडी का जैसे वो लगाने के लिए वो लेकर आ रहे थे घर में, टीवी के साथ रेंट लेकर आ रहे थे, देख रहे थे. डीवीडी के बाद आया डीवीडी प्लेयर आया, सीडी प्लेयर आया, उसके बाद पेन ड्राइव आया. Nowadays, do you remember, right? Nowadays, people are using any DVD or CD? No, right? All are coming with the either Netflix, Amazon Prime, YouTube, so many things, Hotstar. They're watching, right? So where this is coming, where the streaming happening, right? So that's actually coming from the cloud. So because of cloud, right, now हम Amazon का वेबसाइट में ऑर्डर कर सकते हैं, मंत्रा का, फ्लिपकार्ट का हम ऑर्डर करते. तो यदि क्लाउड नहीं होता तो थिंक अबाउट, राइट, हमको पूरा ये सेटअप बनाना पड़ता था. So if you see, right, in our office में whether नेटवर्किंग हो, स्टोरेज हो, एक्सेस हो, एप्लीकेशन का, राइट, पहले, राइट, एक स्टोरेज डिवाइस रहता था, स्टोरेज server room रहता, right. Slowly, I think last couple of years I can see they are reducing. I know they are keeping for temporary, right, for some of minimum, but because of your using the distributor application, because of your using for large scale, because of your using the different region, nowadays they are more migrating cloud on-prem में little रखते. So that's actually, right, the power of a cloud actually I'm talking. So we'll discuss more actually, right, today, right, how what is the cloud computing, how the evolving happening, what are the benefit of a clouding, then what are the type of cloud services, and how the cloud deployment model going to work, what are the key benefit of a cloud computing. That's actually we are going to cover. Actually. Little bit about myself. I have around 20-year experience in the IT industry. Working with company like FIS, American Express, Oracle, Accenture. More working with the. I started with the Java J2 technologies, but currently working more in apart from Java J2 and contact center, and I am working more in right now the digital transformation, cloud native approach on that. So this is actually a typical, right, feature currently. If you see, right, earlier days, there is a switch, there is a database, there is actually CDNA, there is a router, there is a cluster. All things was there actually, right? Maybe that's actually typically networking architecture data center earlier days. But nowadays, because, right, if you see, right, nowadays this part day by day it's reducing because of cloud info, right. Of course you are doing this one, but not here, you are doing something somewhere in a cloud, right. So that's actually, we are going to deep dive today and understand, right, what are the data server, what is the storage, how networking working, how the switches are going to work, right, all the discussing. So when you talk about a cloud, I mean, basically, couple of things you remember, right? As a founder smart the server. We are talking, right? Who will going to provide the server जहाँ पर हम डिप्लॉय कर सकते हैं, राइट? कौन सा प्लेटफॉर्म कौन कौन देगा जहाँ पर हम जैसे VM है कहाँ पर, तो सर्वर दैट्स मोड. What storage you have to do, how we are storing, whether it's object storaging, non-object storaging, maybe files, or how the storage is going to happen, how we are going to access, whether mobile hai, web hai, how the application going to access, what the database is going to use. This is a part of all the cloud computing, right? Because somewhere हम ये पहले हम कर रहे थे, अभी हम उसको थर्ड पार्टी को दे रहे, right boss, instead of me, why not you maintain, right? Because we will pay you, pay you it's for your using, right? So जैसे नेटफ्लिक्स में क्या है ना, मूवी है, हम सब्सक्रिप्शन लिए, हम मूवी देख पा रहे हैं, राइट? और ऑल्सो नेटफ्लिक्स ऑल्सो, इफ यू सी, राइट, इफ यू डोंट हैव सब्सक्रिप्शन, you can pay some movie for rent, and then you can watch also. The same thing, the cloud has some core features, right? Server, storage, application, database, security, all are core features there. Whether you are AWS, whether you are going to use Azure, whether you are using OCI, whether you are doing GCP, all these core features is similar actually. Of course, their way of operating different, but feature wise same thing. So let's understand what is the cloud computing. What is cloud computing saying? Cloud computing is a deliver computing service including server, as I told you, storage, database, networking, software, analytic, and intelligent over the internet. So instead of you doing something, physical, you are accessing, internet basis. That's called cloud, right? So on behalf of me, somebody doing you, right? So we are telling, right, you means, right, somebody other period vendor, right, cloud provider, whether AWS, whether Azure, whether GCP, whether OCI, whether Alibaba, right, whoever the cloud provider, they are doing on behalf of. So if you see the second line, right, instead of owning and maintaining the physical data center or server, organization can rent access to virtual anything from cloud provider. So as I told you, cloud providers are different cloud providers. You pay only what you use, and helping to operate more efficiently and scale your business need changes. So that's the way, right? Cloud is evolving. So on-demand services, broad network access, resource pooling also, rapid elastically, and measured, service basis on that. Let's understand, right, why you are using cloud. So why cloud computing matters, right? You see 94% enterprise adoption happening, around $679 billion of global market in cloud. And if you think that faster development, 3x or 4x, the faster development happening because of cloud adoption on that. That's the power of cloud actually, right? So this is typical, right, how the cloud computing architecture. If you see, right, there is server, there is a virtual desktop, there is software platform, there is application, there is storage data set, all connecting, right, earlier, right, with mobile, laptop, printer, with a router. Now all things going to be connected with the internet, with the, they will be the desktop or desktop or different desktop or laptop or router can do connect on that. That's a typically, way of putting it. So now understand, right? Let's say you're talking, right, cloud, you are something, right, very important. So who are the cloud provider? So let's understand the cloud provider, right? So I am mentioning top 10 cloud provider in India, but you can see there are more cloud provider there. So I have mentioned intentionally the top 10, with my image, but you can get many more cloud provider also nowadays. So AWS, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud Platform, IBM Cloud, Oracle Cloud, Salesforce, VMware, DigitalOcean, Red Hat, Alibaba. These are our top 10 cloud provider. And there is also some SAP Cloud Labs. They are actually nowadays many clouds are HP also coming with the cloud. So many more is coming, but there is a top 10 cloud providers. AWS and Azure and Google Cloud is they are actually market leader in the cloud. So if you see, right, evolution of cloud computing, 1960 mainframe started in 2006. AWS launched actually about 2020. 1999. If you see virtualization happened, but 2010 cloud go to mainstream, right? So Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, other acceleration adoption happened with the SaaS products like Salesforce and Dropbox. And 2020 now this concept called multi-cloud era actually. So people are using different clouds to depend upon that actually. We'll discuss on that, right, what it means multi-cloud. But this is top 10, right, top for the 10 and also how the evolving happen in the cloud computing. Let's understand, right? This is pretty much fundamental, right? So we have to understand here type of cloud services, right? When we are taking the cloud, right? Let's say if you think about Netflix, for example, right? Netflix may you are paying 199, also you can pay 299 or 390, right? So number of user subscription depend करता है, right? So if you are going with only one device, definitely you have to pay minimum one, right? Let's say you are using three device, five device, right? You have to pay more, right? Same thing, cloud का service को depend करता है, right? What service you are going to use. So cloud service are broadly categorized into three deliverable models. Infrastructure as service, that's called as. Platform as service, called a PaaS. Software as a service, that's called SaaS. Each representing different level of abstraction and control given to the user. Understand these models are essentially for choosing the right cloud strategy. So if you think about, right, in the infrastructure is a base, the raw computing storage and user managing the operating systems of. When you're talking the platform, a platform basically you ready the platform and development goes to on the platform basis. That's called platform service. Service as a service, we'll discuss more on that. This is basically we don't want to do. So end user need to only use that one. We'll detail that one, right? We will understand that as PaaS and SaaS. So we'll discuss, right, more detail, right, what is mean by us, what is mean by PaaS, what is mean by SaaS in more. So if you come to the here, right, that platform, right, if you see the left hand side, I'm talking here, that's called on premises, right. Here everything, whether application, data, runtime, middleware, operating system, virtualization, servers, storage, networking, all things you are managing. Whether you are your office premises managing or somewhere you are managing earlier days before cloud. You manage means as a in customer, I have to manage everything. When you are going to infrastructure as service, right? So if you see the below orange color, right, red color one, networking, storage, server, virtualization is a vendor going to provide and manage. You want to manage the operating system, middleware, runtime, data, and application. Because that's your responsibility up top, the green one. The below red one is really the vendor provide directly, we provide it. When you're talking the platform as a service, right? You have to manage only application data, all things runtime, middleware, operating system, virtualization, server, storage, networking providing by maintained by the vendor itself. But when we're talking about a software service, we don't do it to anything. Everything be maintained by vendor. So what do you mean by when we want to ready to occupy, ready to ready, right? I don't do any single. I want to use the software service is better, right? You can think about our email, the software service, right? Google email, that's software. You are you doing anything? No, right? Only you log in, start using on that. So that kind of platform is a software service you are going to use on that. You don't want the same thing Netflix, right? You don't want, right? You log in, credential happen, then you can use depend upon your requirement, right? You don't do anything, right? You don't do set up anything. Platform service, right? The basic foundation there, but what application you are going to deploy, that's your part of there. That's called platform service. Infrastructure, right? Infrastructure will provide, but some of things you do. So that's actually difference, right? You manage by but your vendor manage on that. So infrastructure service, if you go detail, right, what is the infrastructure? If you see here, infrastructure service provide the foundation of building block of a cloud IT, and it give you to access to virtual computing service, server, storage, networking. Actually. So what is the actually infra service? If you see Amazon, web services, में, EC2, S3, VPC, that's more an infrastructure service. In microservice, में, VMs, blob storage are infrastructure service, and Google Cloud may, right, compute engine or GCP, that's again infrastructure service is an example of it. Let's move on. Think about a platform as service. What is a platform as service? Platform service called PaaS removes the complexity of building and maintaining the infrastructure typically associated with the developing and launching an app. It provides ready to use the platform, hardware, operating system, runtime, middleware, letting developer to focus on the writing the code. So all these things are ready. Only thing, right, you are more focusing about, right, developing the code and deploying on that. So faster time to market, build in dev tools, and collaboration very friendly because it's a platform service, right? Some of infrastructure already there. You need to deploy and start using your application. That's called platform as service. We'll discuss more on that in our the live classes, but I'm giving overview. The software service. So if you say that, all right, nothing to do worry about, right? Email accessing, let's say Google email, Google Drive, or Microsoft 365, or Salesforce hubs, right? Or communication by, you can think Zoom, Slack, or Teams. This are all Dropbox or Google Drive. This is a part of all service, software service. You don't do, already software is ready, export, you pay depend upon your premium, and people will pay you, and then your service will, they will evaluate you. You don't want to do any single things also. This is actually high, how you are going to cloud control model, right? This is the more clear, depiction, right? More dedicated, more shared, actually high control. So if you're seeing, right, that's actually feature, we'll discuss more on that. Now you understand the cloud deploy model, right? How the cloud deploy model will do. So cloud deploy model, first feature is coming in the public cloud. So what is the public cloud? A public cloud basically owned and operated by third-party provider that deliver the computing source resources over the internet. Multi-organization, the tenant share the same in physical infrastructure but operate a isolated virtual machine. Let's say company A, company B, company C, company D, right? They want to use the cloud. So public cloud, what happened, right? Everybody company is going to use the cloud. Maybe IWS or Azure in public cloud. But the main thing, right, depend upon their company organization, they will create a segregation, right? Segment wise. But otherwise, they are going to use the same cloud, right? Let's say EC2, EC2 going to use, but because of public cloud, right? Maybe EC2 specific to this company, A company, AC2 specific to B company, right? That will going to occur segment wise. But otherwise, public cloud, right? Everybody can access it. So Amazon Web Services, Amazon, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud Platform. That's an example of the public cloud definitely. What is the characteristics you can do? No upfront investment. I don't want to pay anything. Infinite scalability, high availability, shared responsibility. So what is the best for a public cloud? The start of development and testing environment, public with variable workload, and organization looking for minimum capital expenditure. Then you will go into public cloud. What is the this example of public cloud? Let you understand the private cloud. What do you mean by private cloud? You basically specific to dedicated to your organization. I don't want to expose my information with the everyone can see what is going on. I want to be, nobody can able to see or understand or know my cloud, right? That will go to private cloud. So private cloud is the cloud environment dedicated exclusive to one organization. It can be hosted on premises in company's own data center or third party provider on dedicated hardware. Either way, the resource are not shared with the other organization. So basically, this is very secure. That time you are going to use the private cloud. So what is the characteristics or benefit you're getting? Enhanced security and compliance. Ideally, for industry like healthcare, finance, and government sector, where the strict data regulation HIPAA or PCI or DSS apply full control over the access. Greater customize. So organization can tailor the hardware configuration, network architecture, and software stacks, right? Depend upon their actually requirement. Higher cost, definitely because of the secure, you have to pay higher cost. Require significant capital investment compared to public cloud, right? Here actually you have to invest more because you're secure, right? Let's say you are preparing a house and you are doing double lock, right? You have to pay extra lock for that one, right? What is the hybrid cloud? This mix of private cloud and public cloud mix up, right? So then you are going to go into hybrid cloud. So hybrid cloud, when you are using, right, sometimes I need sensitive workload in my legacy system, then I'll go to private cloud. But they were testing all things I'll going to use, then it will be public cloud, right? Then we will go to the hybrid cloud concept. There is one more called community cloud. Basically, community clouds work, right? Depend upon let's say different companies now. They're more want to testing, validation, all things, right? So they want to save their uh, cost, right? it's a big investment they want to do, right? Saving the cost, saving or increase the control, and people can share collaboratively, can do work, right? That time they are using that called community cloud on that. So basically cost saving, increase the control and collaboration, that time they are using the community cloud on that. Multi-cloud as same actually, right? I think multi-cloud will come, right? Let's say I have one project, I in company, right? I use AWS actually, and also Azure. I will use OCI or Snowflow. So when depend upon depend what is called, right? I can use clouds, different clouds with my project at the same time. So I don't want restrict with only I will use A cloud or B cloud or C cloud. I can use A, B, C, different features I can use within my project also. Serverless computing, that's very interesting. This is very famous now. So in serverless computing, in Lambda or something, right? In AWS, actually, you see no infrastructure management. I don't need to know what is going on. I need to directly deploy or start working on that. Pay for usage. So I don't care, right, how much CPU required, what scaling I required. I don't need actually serverless computing. Pay for usage. Then reduce the operational complexity. I don't need, right? Because see, if you start with the EC2 or IAM or S3, right? You have to do all the things. But the serverless completely automatically everything is there. You use, depend upon your usage, then you can close that. The major player in the cloud industry, as I told, right? AWS actually, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud, and IBM Cloud, and now OCI there also. So, but the top three, one, two, three are top players in the market player. Features and benefit in the cloud, as I told, right, is the scalability, one thing, right? Elastic scale, resource up and down on demand. Let's say आज festival दशहरा time हुआ, Deepavali time, right? If you see Amazon have a lot of sales happening, right? Or Flipkart have, so that time they're scaling up, right? Automatically scalability is working in the feature, right? I don't want to do, right, everything auto scaling, right? Automatically scale the happen when the festival time gone, auto scaling down get happen, right? The minimum of the usage. Same thing, reliability, robust system to handle failure and minimize. So anytime I can access, it should be I'm accessible with my application. Then easy deployment and management, easy to deploy, uh, and in the in-house application and package, automatic manage to easy to dashboard monitoring. So earlier, right, I have to do in my local in server, right? But now all things are doing cloud. So it's easy deployment. There is easy CI/CD pipeline, and then after that you can monitor in the application with the dashboard. So that's a key benefit of a cloud computing. So some of comparison I can see, right, the comparison to top cloud provider in compute storage and storage device, right? Amazon case are EC2 and S3, but Azure case you're using VMs and blob storage, and GCP case you are using compute engine and cloud storage. Same thing in database case you're using RDS or DynaDB, but in Azure case you're using Azure SQL DB or Cosmos DB, and in GCP case you're using the Cloud SQL or File stores. Analytic and machine learning case, Elastic, MapReduce, and SegaMaker. Machine learning case or things are using the AWS case. But in Azure case, you're using Azure Machine Learning and Stream Analytic and BigQuery and AI platform on that. Okay. Now, as I told, right, this is some of things, right, from Elastic Compute or Simple Storage Service or relational database, Lambda we're using. But now uh, Azure case also same thing, right? Virtual machine and Azure Cosmos DB and Azure Active Directory for identity management access, right? That's actually going to we are using for Azure case on that. So GCP case we're using Compute Engine, cloud storage, and BigQuery. That's the more actually three powerful features. And AI platform now GCP when you're using AI platform, more on that. So key benefit I have already highlighted, right? So if you see this picture, right? So benefit are more actually called reducing the cost because I am not paying upfrontly. I'll depend upon my usage I am paying. So reduce the cost. Then you can think about reliability, scalability, better mobility, easier to upgrade. I want to upgrade, I easier to upgrade, flexibility, security, how to access, what not to access. You can do by control of for security, improved communication, increase the storage, And disaster recovery means, right, in case, let's say, something happened to one region or one site, I can still access the application, right, with the other system. So disaster dr you can do every year, one or two times you do, depend on our organization. That way, here you are, right, pulse of your system, and if anything happened, right, I can, my system will continue without any breaking, because there is a load balancing and primary and backup on that. So this is, I already discussed on that. So that's it from thing. But I'm thinking, right, as I told you, right, I have upcoming, right, this weekly foundation next class. If you see, I have also done with the comparison with the different clouds. Then I'm going to be the different architecture design principle on that. Overall, I'm a planning in a full package, whole a package. So that's my plan. So where you can, instead of master class, you can join live class. Will I'm going to continue every Sunday morning time, one to 1.5 hours, so, right. So where we will discuss in detail part, then understand. I'll try to log in also with the cloud console and show you. We'll go more detail, each service, right, maybe difference wise, design pattern wise, what the cloud architecture perspective we'll discuss, right, the foundation. So what I'm trying, keep watching, keep subscribe my channel. Let me know if you have looking for something specific, cloud discussion on that. Otherwise, thank you. See you. Bye bye on that.